Hi, my name is Reese Wheeler. I'm a third year attending at Spanish Rivers Biotech Academy, and I'm participating in this year's science fair. Today, my experiment is going to be the title of my experiment is Sugar versus Protein on Ants Cognitive Skills. Now, this experiment will be categorized in animal science, and the abstract is that diets of animals have impacts on overall bodily function, and this includes specifically brain function. Previous studies have shown that ant colonies' diet influences ant workers to put on diet restrictions. And when it comes to this, ant seeks sucrose, which is also known as sugar, when on a protein-based diet. In this experiment, the researcher wanted to see if there is a relation to sugar and memory performances when it comes to ants. It has been seen that in the human mind that sugar and protein have positive effects on the brain. Sugar in a previous experiment on rats was shown to affect the hippocampus, which helps with memory, while protein helps in the soriostratecal circuits and the hypothalamus. In the experiment, the researcher divided ants into two groups. One group ate a granulated sugar mixed with water, 1 gram over milliliter, and the other ate a whey protein and water solution, 1 gram over milliliter. They were placed into a maze with the food item at the end. Then the ants were timed to see how long it would take for them to get to the food, and was also recorded doing so. The videos will then be put through ethovision, tracked, and the behavior and time of the ants will be seen through the software. Now the problem is, what are the effects? The problem that this tackles is what are the effects that sugar versus protein on the cognitive function of ants. Now I believe that sugar will be more beneficial to cognitive function compared to protein. In the experiment, the ants would be placed into two separate containers, and each container would be fed 1 grams over milliliter of sugar, and the other one would be fed 1 grams over milliliter of protein. Then, after eating, they'll both be placed into a maze using the same ant and be timed to see how they memorize this layout. It'll be done 2 times per ant using 2 different ants per group. Now, what are the materials? In this experiment, the materials will be whey protein powder, sugar cane, and the materials to create the maze would be out of cardboard and plastic containers, and we'll also be using ethovision software. Now, the first of the procedure is to segment the ants into 2 different groups. One group will eat the sugar water mixture, and the other group will eat the water and whey protein mixture. Next, you want to fill test tubes and label it with the solution and label it sugar ants, then whey protein powder, and you want to fill them with 1 gram each. Then you want to fill the test tubes with enough milliliters to make 1 gram over milliliters. Then you want to mix them for 3 minutes, then let it sit. Then you want to put the ants in there and let them stay overnight and feed on the solution. Now, during that time, or if you already have done so, you would construct an ant maze using foam board or plastic containers with tape and glue. Now you want to run the ants through the maze and record videos of their movements towards the food source and how long it takes, with a 10-minute time limit. And you want to repeat these steps 3 times per group. Then you want to upload the video to the tracking software program ethovision to collect data and perform analysis of this data. Now, observations I came across during this experiment, they are both not focused on finding the solution and food in the maze, but there were differences in behavior. Ants who had protein were more aggressive and fast-paced, moving compared to the ants that had sugar, which were more calm and relaxed, checking the areas, and was way slower compared to how fast the protein diet ants were. Now, overall results were they both never reached the food in the time limit of 10 minutes, nor were, though they both came near to it, they would never actually reach the food. Now, my overall conclusion here is that ants act more erratically when it comes to when they have consumption of protein compared when they have sugar. The experiment did not show the better cognitive performance, except for the more behavioral performance of how ants handle situations based on their diet.